Good morning, December 5th, 2022. This is Mary Conley in Jacksonville. I've just done my 3+ mile walk. The temperatures here in the winter, we get maybe 14 days of cold. And by that I mean 36, 36, 36, a few 32s and below, and maybe one or two 25s and 20s. There's about 14 to 17 days like that, interspaced with 60s in the daytime. Occasionally we'll have a day that's in the 40s, cold, and it usually precedes by rain and then it'll go down. Sometimes we have ice, but I would say the worst is January, a little bit of February, and I would say there would only be a total of 14 to 20 days of cold. And even in between those are days that are relatively warm. Today's going to be in the low 70s. Anyway, this is North Florida. So let's say I've got some take on the Idaho things. I hate to go, I know it drives y'all crazy that it takes so long. Please subscribe and like. Okay, here we go. Zana, mother was abused alcohol and drugs. Ethan was from a middle-class family. Nice guy. They went to a fraternity. There was a football game that evening. They probably had nachos and cheese, some Coca-Cola. They may have had a little bourbon and Coke or whatever, but they kept it low. Zana is not, she was a solid, sedate person. She did not want to come across as an alcoholic. She's seen enough damage of that with her mother could not release herself from drugs. So she went to this meet and greet at the fraternity, as her boyfriend's fraternity. She wanted to come across. They watched the football game. Maybe they had a couple beers. They did not tie one on like Maddie and Kaylee did. They did not tie one on like that. They may have historically, but they didn't this evening. So they had a couple beers, some nachos. They watched the game. They talked to a few of his friends. It got to be around 11 or 12. They went upstairs. Now, they could have had a romantic encounter in his dorm room. They may have watched a Netflix movie. They may have looked at research methods of statistics and mean, mode, and average, mean, and mode, and gone over some questions because finals were coming up. So they may have looked at his textbooks. You'd have to go to his dorm room to try to figure out. They may have watched a Hallmark Hall of Fame. Anyway, it got later and later. And Zana says, Kaylee's leaving. We may never see her again, or we won't see her as much. She's going to move to Texas or something. And then also, because it was a fraternity, some of the people were drinking and imbibing quite a bit, and they could hear them down the hall, and there was a ruckus, and she said, it's cold. Maybe the room was a little cold. Maybe she wasn't supposed to stay overnight. So they go downstairs. It's pretty late. They maybe pick a donut from the food tray that's down there, the tables. They say, oh, there's nothing left here. Or maybe they said, no, there's nothing left here. So they leave. They go to Wawa, or they go to Buc-ee's. They get a sub sandwich. They go home. Now it's 1:45. They see Kaylee and Maddie, and oh my God, they're inebriated. They have tied one on. They have really tied one on. Well, Kaylee's going to stay in Maddie's room because her room is in the process of being packed up. She's moving. She's leaving. Her room is basically packed up. So she's going to lay there with her friend she's known since childhood. And they piddle around on their phones till 2:52. Now, Ethan goes downstairs, or he's downstairs, he and Zana. And they're going to go to bed. They wash up. They go to bed. Now it's about 2:15, 2:30. By 3:20, they are sound asleep. Now the creeper comes in. He slides that door open. Now that door has oxidation on it probably. I don't know how old that house is. It's metal, it's glass. It makes a noise, a slight noise, like shh, shh. There's two reasons the man is not going to shut it right then. Yes, it was a man killer. I don't know if it was a serial killer or some weird guy in one of their classes or what the deal was. So make sure this is running. I always mess up on that. So he's not going to slide it twice because it does make a noise. Some type of noise like there's going to be a little metal noise at the handle. You push it over, it's going to make a noise. Maybe there's leaves. I don't know. I don't know what kind of, here, I could make a noise, but I'm not going to, some kind of noise it makes. Okay. So he goes in, he leaves it open because that's his exit. He wants to be able to exit. Now, did he go upstairs and go ahead and kill Kaylee and Maddie? Possibly. But as I was talking about temperatures, It's very seldom in the 20s, and I mean, I would say maybe 3 days we might get a little touch of the 20s, and you have to cover your plants with yarn, tarps and different things. If you have, tropical plants, you gotta cover them, and hope for the best. But only maybe 3 days. Now, it's no this must have been one of their first cold days. I don't know what it's like in Idaho when the winter begins. Could be like Philadelphia. I mean, they have a short summer. Our summer, shoot, it starts in March and it ain't over till the end of October. Hell, it's December now, it's gonna be 70. So anyway, um, Dana and Ethan are sleeping around the corner. I think there's a kitchenette by the slider, like a little kitchen area. So it's around the corner. Now Ethan goes, "What the hell?" The heater runs more because it's trying to heat up a room even though something like a window or door is open. The heater has a thermostat. The thermostat tells it, run, run. There's something open, it run. Gotta heat this house up, run. Well, Ethan's laying there with Dana, and they say something like, I heard something. I don't know what that is. And it's cold. It's cold as the witches behind. There's wind coming in this house. So he wanders over to the slider to see what the heck's going on. And then that's when the intruder gets him. Then Dana hears it, or I don't know like I said, they were not as inebriated as the others. They were not as inebriated. Cold air, it may take 10 or 12 minutes. Now you say, well, why didn't Kaylee because they were inebriated. Inebriated doesn't notice the cold. Plus, they were higher up. They had more heat. It hadn't reached them yet. It would have during the night. They would have said, damn, there's cold air in this house. But Ethan said, damn, there's cold air coming in. I'm gonna go. So he gets up to see what it is, and now Gray Hughes says, well, was it before or after? I don't know. The intruder could have already gone up there, and assuming going upstairs, going in, that's 1 or 2 minutes, locating the victims, 30 seconds, whatever, attacking and doing what he wanted to Kaylee and Maddie. I'm gonna assume since there were so many stab wounds, I'm gonna give it maybe 4 minutes. So a total of 6 to 10 minutes, no more than 4 to 7 minutes. You're coming back down. Ethan's out of his bed, checking out why it's so cold. Then he attacked Ethan. That's my hypothesis. Thank you.